We are pleased to present the International Hydrodiplomacy, Building and Strengthening Regional Institutions for Water Conflict Prevention, pre-conference study commissioned and led by the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung with support from the Stimson Center. Conclusion by Farwa Amer. This study necessitates a call to action on transboundary water governance in the Himalayan region, Central Asia, and the Euphrates-Tigris River Basin. Transboundary water systems cannot be unilaterally addressed and instead require multi-stakeholder approaches. There is an outstanding need for coordinating mechanisms and frameworks at all levels to ensure an equitable sharing of water resources by means of an integrated and deliberate effort. Through their analysis, the authors further validate the notion that most indicative variables for conflict reflect rapid or extreme change to physical or institutional systems within a basin in absence of transboundary institutional mechanisms able to manage the effects of that change. Therefore, water conflict prevention relies on identifying and understanding different interests and creating an environment that supports arbitration and mediation. As discussed, in each chapter, a significant number of bilateral and basin-level agreements, as well as some governing bodies, have been established over the past few decades. Yet, the overall effectiveness of these initiatives falls prey to the status quo, hydro-hegemony, and conflicting interests of the stakeholders. Often, powerful stakeholders succeed in pushing policymakers to support their claims at the expense of other stakeholders or choose not to participate in collaborative functions altogether. In Central Asia, Afghanistan has not participated in any of the regional platforms on the Aral Sea Basin over the years. Therefore, there has been a limited exchange of information and knowledge between Afghanistan and the rest of Central Asia on shared rivers, which further creates a division between water policies and strategic interests. In the Euphrates-Tigris River Basin, Turkey, being the upper riparian, generally is at an impasse over water sharing with the lower riparian Iraq and Syria, despite cooperative initiatives. Similarly, in the Himalayan region, the MOU, which covers data sharing on the Yarlung-Tsangpo-Brahmaputra, has consistently fallen victim to geopolitical tensions between India and China. China, post the Doklam standoff in 2017, refused to share the flood data required under the MOU with India. Such cases make it evident that ad hoc and purely bilateral approaches to water management or water conflict prevention are not always enough, and regional institutions and third-party solicitation can play an important role in incentivizing a collaborative and mutually beneficial approach to transboundary water governance. The significance and urgency of institution building, legal bindings, and water-sharing agreements is well accepted and recognized, but their successes are dependent on various aspects exclusive to the exigencies of each region and river basin. For instance, most international water laws already in place are more applicable in non-arid regions like Europe as opposed to arid regions. Laws are subsequently better enforced in the former than the latter. The existence of joint institutions also cannot guarantee inclusive decision-making due to political reservations, and funding and capacity gaps only further minimize the overall influence of any institutional frameworks. In Central Asia, the Interstate Commission for Water Coordination in Central Asia, ICWC, lacks full jurisdiction over the rivers and has technical limitations. Any non-compliance with ICWC decisions is also not sanctioned. Moreover, existing regional water governance institutions in Central Asia have not been able to effectively address the tensions between upstream and downstream riparian countries stemming from dam constructions on the tributaries of shared rivers, such as the Amudarya and Sirdarya rivers. In the Himalayan region as well, institutions have made little to no progress over transboundary water governance. In Chapter 1, the authors argue that South Asia is yet to apply a robust, multidisciplinary, and inclusive approach towards water governance, especially given the rampant hydropower projects and dam building by upstream countries. Although attempts at shared transboundary water governance commenced as early as 1946 in the Euphrates-Tigris River basin, the tense relations between the three riparian states, coupled with the growing water scarcity, have heavily compromised any gains made over the years. By and large, all three regions have the following common challenges with regards to transboundary water governance institutions and arrangements. Political inertia in devising and enforcing guidelines that can enable equitable water sharing. Water issues are often overshadowed in national and regional policy spheres. Financial and technical capacity challenges further weaken any existing institutional frameworks. There are wide gaps in knowledge that tend to compromise objective analysis of river basins, ecological systems, and water flows. Geopolitical tensions and power asymmetries divert countries away from cooperative initiatives, third-party mediations, and joint endeavors on water governance. Reflections on EU's water diplomacy. The global landscape is rapidly changing in a way that makes it crucial for governments and international organizations to prioritize water security and climate change in their policy-making agendas. We have witnessed ardent attempts by the EU towards broader cross-border engagement. The EU's successful trajectory in driving cooperation on issues such as water governance within the EU borders has allowed it to develop the experience and knowledge that can be transferred to water-stressed regions across the globe. The EU's active involvement in Central Asia is noteworthy. As highlighted by the experts, the EU has been supportive of regional water institutions such as the IFAS and ICWC, and in 2009 launched an exclusive EU-CA platform on environment and water. In addition to this, the European Commission also is a major contributor to the multi-donor trust of the Central Asia Energy and Water Development Programme, CAEWDP, implemented by the World Bank. Authors suggest that the EU, with its experience on the ground through the aforementioned engagements, is a strong candidate to assume the role of a third-party solicitor who not only facilitates regional institutional building, but also oversees accountability and enforcement of a cooperative framework. This would ensure capacity building and participation of all relevant stakeholders in the decision-making process of the key regions discussed in this study. In the Euphrates-Tigris River basin, the EU's influence has been credible, primarily through its efforts in rallying Turkey to engage in active cooperation with its neighbors on shared rivers. Turkey's declaration as a candidate for EU membership in December 1999 led to a positive transformation in its water management policies. In order to comply with the EU's vision and requirements under the Water Framework Directive, Turkey more willingly engaged in cooperative efforts with other riparian countries. Consequently, Turkey signed bilateral MOUs in 2009 with Syria and Iraq respectively to develop and manage shared rivers. In South Asia, the India-EU Water Partnership IEWP is certainly an important initiative that enables India to learn from the EU's technical and management expertise in the water sector. Even though the IEWP is a bilateral initiative, it does indicate a promising role that the EU can play on a more basin-wide and regional level. While the aforementioned examples demonstrate a step in the right direction for EU's water diplomacy, the emphasis on global water security in EU's policy agenda and the scale of its engagement abroad is still relatively low. Despite resolute ambitions, reservations in terms of meddling or being directly involved in water politics of volatile and crisis-prone regions may have also served to hinder EU's progress over the years. Nevertheless, the growing water scarcity and its worldwide humanitarian and security implications require bodies like the EU to develop greater diplomatic synergies and a more comprehensive understanding of issues that extend beyond its strategic neighborhood. To this end, the EU must take initiatives that will strengthen its water diplomacy and allow it to build on its own achievements in the realm of transboundary water governance. The EU may consider promoting the ratification of the 1997 UN and 1992 UNEC conventions by third countries in order to facilitate the adoption of the much-needed multilateral approach to shared water governance. Building confidence in disintegrated regions by promoting broader knowledge sharing and engendering a benefit-sharing mindset among contesting riparian countries. Becoming a leading development donor and global player in regions with weak or non-existing water institutional frameworks by providing technical and financial support. Overall, the EU must exercise a conscious diplomatic effort to acquire more knowledge pertinent to the geographical, political, and social elements of each region or river basin, and engage with field players in charting the best way forward. At CUS MDPD, we design and implement multi-stakeholder dialogues, focusing on the nexus of democracy and governance, peace and security, and climate and energy. Join our LinkedIn community, tag us in your tweets, and add us on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in on SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. Visit our website for our latest publications.